Hi, I'm Phyllis. My website is southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to make a pineapple cake. Now it's going to have a real intense pineapple taste, but we're just using pineapple, canned crushed pineapple, and I'm going to show you how we do this. But first we're going to make just a regular yellow sheet cake. So, and this is the recipe I use for many other types of cake. So the first thing we're going to do is put 4 large eggs into the mixing bowl. And next to that, we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. And I will put this recipe down below, right down below this video where it says show more. You just click on that and it'll open up for the recipe. Alright, so we're going to mix this first. Just mixing it on low and get those eggs all mixed in with the sugar. Like that. And after this gets mixed really well, we're going to add in 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Alright, I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. Alright, that's good enough. Now we're going to slowly add this heavy whipping cream. Now what this does is takes the place of any oil or butter that you would normally put in a cake mix. Now, if you whip this cream enough, it will actually turn into whipped butter. So this is the oil or butter or whatever you would be adding. This is taking its place. Alright, so I'm going to turn it on low. Just slowly add it. This takes a little while, because if you add it all at one time, it's going to kind of splash out. Alright, so that's going to also help dissolve some of that sugar. So 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream. And again, this is the same recipe I use for many sheet cakes, just the base part of it. So it's just a plain yellow cake is really what you end up with. So now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. There's 1. There's 2. And the next thing we're going to add is going to be the imitation butter extract, just to give it a more buttery taste, richer taste really. And this comes out of the bowl really fast, so you need to measure it not over the bowl. Just want 1 teaspoon. Alright, so now we're ready to add our next mixture, which is 3 cups of flour. Let me turn that down a little bit so y'all can see. It's 3 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And of course I measured my flour out as best I could, just 3 cups from the bag. Then I sifted it, and then I measured it again, which will mean you'll get much less flour that way. And then I put them all into the sifter and just sifted them all together to get the salt and the baking powder all mixed in with the flour. So now we're going to kind of add this 1 heaping spoonful at a time. I've got my mixers on the lowest setting. And we'll scrape down that side. the sides of this bowl in a few minutes, as soon as we get all the flour in. Last of them in. Now we're going to just scrape down the sides, because even though I've got this paddle little thing that scrapes the side of the bowl, it doesn't quite come up far enough to get it all. So we're just going to scrape down the sides a little bit. Like that. And again, this is going to be the base for our pineapple cake. Now, not putting the pineapple in the cake, but I'm going to show you a way that works even better in my opinion. All right. Now we're going to mix this just a little bit more. All right. That's enough. We don't want to over mix it once the flour is in there. That usually will cause your cakes to be tough, not have as pretty a texture. All right, we're ready to put this in the pan. Let me unplug my mixer. All right. Alright, so we're going to bake this at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. Might even be a little less depending on your oven. Wipe that flour off my little mixer here. Move that out of the way. So the pan I'm going to make this in is an 11 by, let me look and make sure, 11 by 16 long and 2 inches tall. Now you could make this in a 9 by 13 pan, but it's going to rise up pretty high. Or you can make it in 3 9-inch pans, but the kind of icing I'm going to put on it, it makes it a little harder. So it just works better in a big sheet cake pan. All right, let's dump this out now. Just dump it right in the pan. You see any little lumps, don't worry about them. I mean, unless it's a great big lump, because they aren't going to hurt anything. You just want to make sure you don't mix it too long once you put the flour in there. Now, cake flour, of course, is going to have less gluten, I would think, than regular all-purpose flour. And that's what you don't want to develop, is the gluten, because you want a real nice texture to the cake. So we're just going to spread this out. This is a little bit of a thinner batter, so you can kind of bang it around a little bit to get any air bubbles or any big air bubbles to come to the surface. So just like that. All right, we're going to put it in the oven, 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. But depending on your oven, I would definitely check it at 25 minutes. Same would hold true if you're using 3 9-inch cake pans. You want to check them after about 25 minutes. When this gets done, we'll be back. All right, the cake cooked exactly 30 minutes in my oven. See how springy it is? So now I've just taken it out, so it's still very hot. So what I've done is, this is a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple, and you want to make sure that it's in 100% pineapple juice. So I strained this, and I ended up getting 1 cup of the pineapple juice. So what I'm going to do is put part of that on the cake. So I'm going to poke a bunch of holes in it. Like that. All right, and now we're going to dribble a little of this over the cake, but we're going to save back some because we need it for our icing. So we're just going to dribble a little bit, about 3/4 of it, on the cake. You want to do this while the cake is still hot, so it'll sink right down in there. So we've got, well, we want just about 1/4 of a cup to put in the icing. And that's about it right there. So we we got 1 cup of juice when we strained the pineapple, and we've used 3/4 of a cup to dribble on the cake. And now I'm going to put the pineapple on top of the cake, and this is what we drained. And the reason I did that is so that juice would soak down in there. So I'm just going to use my fingers, kind of put this on top of the cake. Again, it's still warm. And this was a 20-ounce can of the crushed pineapple. And I do like the Great Value brand actually better than the Dole, and it's actually cheaper. After we get this on there, we're going to let this cool a bit. We're going to go ahead and make the icing to go over the top. Anytime I run across a little hard bit, I go ahead and take it out like that right there. Spread that out as even as you can. Right to the edge. All right, so we're going to set this cake aside, let it cool a bit more while we're making the icing. Now, we'll be back in just a minute because I've got to melt 4 teaspoons of butter, or half a stick of butter, and I've got 16 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm going to put that in the microwave and soften it up. We'll be back. All right, I messed up again. I meant to say 8 ounces of cream cheese, not 16 ounces. So it's 1 pack of cream cheese, and I'm going to soften that, and 4 tablespoons of butter, which is 1/2 cup or half a stick. All right, we'll be back. All right, we are back, and I've softened the cream cheese in the microwave, and you do have to put a paper towel over it because it pops a lot. So this is 8 ounces of cream cheese. Just plop that in. And we've got 4 tablespoons of melted butter, which is half a stick, really. All right, just dump that in. We're going to go ahead and put everything in at one time. So this is a 2-pound bag of powdered sugar, and what I'm going to do is just kind of guess at what's half of it and dump that in. So if you were using a box of powdered sugar, you would use a whole box, of a 1 pound box of confectioner's sugar. You just use the whole box. If it's 16 ounces, this one is 32 ounces. So I think I've got about half of it. All right, we're going to go ahead and put a teaspoon of vanilla in. And we're going to go ahead and dump the 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice right in there too. All right, we're going to mix it up now. Just on low. We want this icing to be an icing that you can kind of pour over the cake rather than put it on with a spatula or anything. All right, we're just going to beat this until we get all the lumps out, and we'll be back. Well, we came back because I wanted to show you a little tip I found. This is a regular wooden clothespin. This is one I found in Walmart's department where they have the stuff for all kinds of arts and crafts. See the difference? Yeah, they look great on things like these little plastic bags. Work really, really well. And they don't stick out as much as regular clothespins would. See? I love these little clothespins. I bought a whole big pack of them. Anyway, we're waiting for our icing for the lumps to get out of it, and we'll be back. All right, here's what the icing looks like. It's really almost like a sauce. So I'm going to pour it into a cup to make it easier to dribble it or drizzle it out on the cake. Most of that out of there. All right, so we're just going to drizzle it over the cake from the cup because we got a nice little spout there. And what I'm trying to do is get that all of that pineapple covered. Let it run down the side. Some is good. Place back there that needs to be covered. There it is. So the icing will get a little more hard as it sits, but you want all that moisture to sink down into the cake. So we're going to put this aside. We haven't had our main meal of the day yet, so we're not going to have this until after we have our meal. All right, y'all, let me see if I can cut a little piece and show you what it looks like. Okay, there's what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and taste of it because y'all always want me to taste of everything. Now, it needs to sit at least an hour, maybe a little longer, and the longer it sits, the more moist it's going to get inside, but it's already going to be moist. It's just super, super rich. Very buttery too. It's so good, so good. All right. I don't dare eat the rest of that, otherwise I won't eat any of my meal today. All right, y'all, we will see y'all next time. I hope you'll try this. Now, the reason for the thinner icing so it'll sink down in the cake along with whatever moisture is left in the pineapple. It is really, really good. All right, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.